What is going on, everybody? We are back at the top of another Savage stream. Hope everyone is doing well. And I know the market sucks right now. I don't even have enough like red. The lights just aren't red enough back there. But yeah, it's a pretty rough day. I started earlier today, I believe. I don't know. In my opinion, it seems like maybe some of there's a lot going on. I think that there was some downtime for Binance and Coinbase. I think there was something going on there, and then there's also some of the so-called DeFi projects are kind of falling apart too. So kind of expected. I mean, we've got a CME gap at like 96.65, I believe. That I don't know. Some folks are saying it might get filled, so we'll see. You know, they seem to always get filled, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll put the market up here real quick just so that we can all get really super depressed real quick. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. But I mean, you know, it's a 10% pullback on BTC, pretty heavy on Link and ETH, pretty bad, but kind of expected it, right? I mean, we were on a heck of a run there, so I don't know. I kind of expected. I don't get concerned at all in instances like this. I normally am looking for ways to generate some fiat so I can buy the dip. You know, most people like freak out over this stuff. I don't. I just look at it and go, okay, this is what we're doing now, huh? All right, you know, because there's all kinds of. There's always 30% pullbacks in bull runs. So you know, through the whole history of Bitcoin, it's always been like that. 30% pullback is really common, especially during a real bull run. So it is what it is, guys. We will get past it. There's no doubt. It's not a big deal. All right. So in this live stream, we are going to go through setting up SimpleMining OS on a bootable USB drive. We're going to boot the rig to it, create a new group, assign the group to the rig, and maybe even look at some overclocking and how to do that in SimpleMining. So we are going to get into it. Now, this video does assume that you already have a rig built like I do. I've got the little test rig with the two AMD RX 570, well, one RX 570, one RX 580, and we're wanting to run SimpleMining OS on it to mine Ethereum using AMD GPUs, and that's what we are going to look at tonight. So we're going to be dealing with the rig on the right, top right, the one that's got the red fans. I know it's kind of hard to distinguish now because I flip the rigs around so that they get better cooling and whatnot. So that's what we're going to be using over there. I think I might have an older video of it here. No, I don't. I thought I did, but yeah, that rig is just kind of like a test rig at this point. But I do have it mining right now because even that little rig gets, you know, it's making like $5 a day with 2 GPUs. Well, maybe not 5, but 4 something a day. I believe it. Let's check here. I think so. It's got one 570, one 580 now. Yeah, so it's dropped a little bit. You know, largely because of Ethereum's value going down a little bit. So still $3.78 a day after power. So yeah, it's on and it's actually mining. So I leave it that way at this point. Before things really took off, that rig was kind of like shut off most of the time unless I was needing it for doing a video or something. So all right, so let's look at SimpleMining.net. That's what we are going to be dealing with tonight. And you can see that I have already clicked the add a rig button right here. So once you're like logged in, let me back up. Let me start at the beginning. So you're going to go to SimpleMining.net. You can see the URL up here, and it'll basically, I think before you log on, it'll look something like this, and then you have to go. I don't know if it. Yeah, it'll look like this, and then you have to go. I think over here will say something about register, I believe, or something like that. So you'll click register, and you know it'll do the whole registration thing through email, you know, the pretty standard things. And I kind of highlighted some misspellings here, just ignore those. But if you're not familiar, I have this weird ability to look at a page of text and pick out misspelled words like really quickly. It's kind of a curse, I guess. I don't always catch everything, but I do catch. I even catch grammar sometimes. Like if I look at this, I'm looking at this, and it says if you will have questions, like stuff like that sticks out to me for some reason. Anyway, it's a weird superpower I have. Okay, let's go to. But anyway, so once you get registered, and then all the information is right here, basically on this page. It talks about what to do, how to get it all done. We are going to simulate it because whenever I use this OS and I try to burn using Balena Etcher, and I burn the image, the SimpleMining image. Now it didn't crash this last time because I did it right before the stream. You can see here that I've got a flash complete here, and it did not crash, but I don't know if I probably already had OBS running also. So it was probably just a weird thing that it didn't crash this time, because normally that first time that I try it, it crashes for some reason. Don't know, haven't figured it out yet, but this last time it didn't, so I don't know. Maybe it was just something that has been fixed. I don't know. I didn't download a brand new image. I'm using one that I downloaded last month, and it's still the current one, which is version 1281, I believe is the image. So anyway, all right, so all the information is right here. I'm just kind of rambling here. You go to download and install, and then we're going to, it tells you all the requirements, all that stuff. It basically walks you through everything. Actually, yeah, this other screen over here about the OS is just about the OS, what you can do. When you click on download and install, that's whenever you get to the good stuff. As far as the images, I downloaded this one. This is the one I have right now, because we're using the RX 570s and 580s. And it also talks about how to set up your motherboard, your BIOS settings. If you've got a rig already built, probably most of this stuff is already done. Let's see. Install, and then how to install and flash the OS image. So they use Balena Etcher here. Some people use Rufus. I can't get Rufus to work on this machine, so I just default back to Balena Etcher. But here's all the instructions, and we're gonna go through it pretty quick here. So here's my flash complete, and if I go to Windows Explorer, I go to the USB drive is still in there, and it looks like this. So once it's done, you'll have 3 new USB drives, and only one of them is readable, right? Because the other 2 are the Linux partitions, and Windows by default can't read it. You can install some utilities that actually let you read it, but we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to look at smOS config, and we're going to go into the config.txt. So whatever email the only thing you have to change is the email address in config.txt. So whatever email address you use to sign up for SimpleMining, the website, and whichever one you use to log on with, that's what you're going to put in here. So you can see here it defaults, it shows you right here, like a default. I'm going to put my address in there so that the rig will show up successfully. And I'm just going to save the file. So now it is saved, and then we'll eject this USB drive. Alright, so now it's ejected. Now we need to come over here to rig list, and you see that I already clicked the add a rig button, but we want to go ahead and let's go ahead and do our group config before we even start the rig. That rig has talked to the SimpleMining OS interface before, so it's going to show up with the correct name and all that stuff, and we might be able to actually, you know what? Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do by default. Let's see here. I don't remember. I'm going to remove the drive, go in there, shut that rig down, and boot it to the USB drive. And whenever I come back, I'll check the. Oh, you know what? It looks like I forgot to decrease my background music. You guys are probably yelling at me. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to boot the. Hopefully y'all heard that. Y'all are probably like, "Yo, dude, it's so loud." All right, here we go. All right, so I'm kind of looking through chat here. Got some people asking a couple of things. Nobody said anything about the sound though, I don't think. I know it had to be super loud here. All right, I guess I was talking loud enough to where y'all heard me. All right, let's see here. Hopefully this rig will boot. It won't give us any headaches. So far, nothing. This happens with these USB drives, these little cheap, I don't know if it's the USB drives or it's just the motherboard and the combination of the USB drives, but if you want stability and reliability, I always say, and you're not going to be doing videos and swapping out OSs all the time, use a SSD. You know, it's a little bit different process because you might have to shut your machine down to burn the image to the SSD, but they are so much more reliable and you don't have to worry about, you know, weird stuff happening with them. Because I've had 2 of these go bad, like to where you can't even write to them anymore, or burn an image to them, non-readable in the machine. So yeah, it's just much more reliable to use a SSD. All right, so it looks like the rig did show up, so that's good. It's not doing anything yet, although you can see that it was, the last time it was fired up, it was configured to mine CCX. That was a long time ago for this particular rig anyway. So we need to create a group. So we're gonna go to group config. Let's see, somebody's asking. Kalani is asking a question. Yeah, TechMan, I know. A lot of that is default anyway, but I'm just saying that they do, it seems like, at least these ones that I have, these verbatim store and goes, they're just cheap ones and they do go bad, for sure. All right, so we're gonna go add a group. We're gonna use Phoenix Miner. And then we're kind of jumping ahead because there's a couple other things we need to do too. We clearly need a wallet, an address. So we're gonna use Zelcore to mine to, and we're gonna be mining Ethereum. So I'm gonna click on Ethereum here and do a receive so I can get the receiving address right there. So I just copy that to the clipboard. And then that'll be part of our setup down here. So we're gonna give it a name. We'll call it ETH YouTube. No description. And then this right here is pretty cool. This is something that they added recently, fairly recently. They're able to run the miner as root. So this helps with, I think it helps mostly with the 5700 or the 5000 series. It seems like that might be what drove them to make this change. But basically it allows you to run the miner as root, and it'll gain access to all kinds of other stuff that you normally don't have access to just running the miner as a normal user, like it does by default. So it says here advanced functions, like changing timings or straps that require that root level access, the permissions that are required there. You cannot use temperature adjusting functions in the miner, such as tmin and tmax, temp target, etc. Because you can't do that because SMOS has its own fan speed script. So don't worry about that part if you're only looking to control the fan speed, because that's done inside of SimpleMining itself. But yeah, pretty cool. So we're gonna leave that disabled. I don't think we need it for this. And then we've got the default miner options here showing us what's up. So I'm going to try to use this. I'm gonna go, Okay, so if we had the Ethereum, oh, this is cool. I forgot about this actually. If you had the Ethereum wallet set up, and I doubt I have it set up in here. You could use this variable here. I'm not going to use it right now, but we'll use the rig name variable, but not this one. I'll check that out in a minute. I want to see if that actually works. All right, and then we also need to get a pool. We're not going to use SSL. We're not going to complicate things for the stream here. So we need to get a pool going, and if you want to see what pool to use, you go to miningpoolstats.stream, and then we're going to go to Ethereum, and then, you know, Ethermine and Sparkpool, they kind of switch off, you know, with who has the most hash rate at the moment. I always go a little bit further down. I like spreading the hash rate. HiveOn.net, that's HiveOS's pool. They're pretty good, but in this case, we're going to use 2Miners. I like 2Miners. I like their pool. The look of it, the interface and stuff is really nice. So we're going to use this. Most of the time, if the pool is pretty decent, they're going to have a how to start or a get started or get connected or something like that, where you can click on that and it'll basically take you to like a help page where you're going to figure out, you know, some details of what you need in order to mine. So in this case, it says how to start mining Ethereum. Choose your mining server. So we're going to choose the USA one. I am in the US. I want the one that's closer to me. So we're going to choose that one. And it even walks through the steps. So the first is create a wallet. We kind of did that with Zelcore over here. You know, we created we added Ethereum to this wallet so that we can get the address. I didn't show you that, but that's, you know, basically the address that we're using here. And then you need to download the mining software. In our case, we're using an OS, an actual bootable Linux-based OS to boot the rig to. So we kind of skip this part right here because we're going to use the miners that are within the OS, right? And then we're going to edit the file, which we really don't have to do that either because that's done inside of SimpleMining. So this doesn't really apply to SimpleMining. This is more like a Windows-based tutorial here, from what I gather. But it does have some nice information down here, like settings for Phoenix Miner, so you can see like what settings look like, you know, what they should look like. And if you look at the options there, that I think they have Protocol 2 here, and Protocol 2 means, let me look it up here. There's a lot of different options here. I think that means, hang on. That means Ethereum proxy. Okay, so like you would use it for Ethermine or Nanopool, and that's the default. So it basically selects the kind of Stratum protocol for the Ethash pool that you're using, and that's the default. I don't know if SimpleMining actually puts that in there. It doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't put that in there. Now all I did was I copied the address right here, the URL for the server. So we need to add that to our string here. So I'm going to do that. Did it include the port? I didn't see that. Yeah. So it includes the port, the colon, and then the port number there, 2020. And let's see. So whenever you're looking at this for SimpleMining, you see how it's separated out. You've got the miner up here. This is the executable, basically, is the way to look at it. So whenever you're looking at a string like this, if they're giving you like an example, see how they include phoenixminer.exe at the beginning? At the beginning, you don't need that in SimpleMining, because all you need is the parameters, right? So just remember that if you're building a string like this. All right. The R mode 2, that is for reboot if the miner crashes. Or I think there's all kinds of different settings inside of Phoenix Miner. It's pretty cool because you can tell it, there's actually settings for like, hey, if the hash rate is less than a certain number in if it averages less than a certain number in a 5-minute time span, then you have these different options. You can restart the miner, you can shut down and restart, all these cool things. So R mode is reboot mode or restart mode, and 0 would be disabled, meaning that the miner would just shut down and it wouldn't restart. 2 is restart with the same command line options that you previously used, and that's the default. And in this case, it looks like the default is, the default that SimpleMining put in here is 2, which is to reboot, shut down the miner, and execute reboot.bat, or reboot, which means shut down the miner and execute reboot.bat. So that is what they have chosen here. So if it does crash, it's going to reboot, shut down the miner, and then reboot. So you can click on show more info here. All this is down here. All the different settings for Phoenix Miner. It gets pretty in depth. You could do several videos on all these different settings, so it's pretty intense. But we're going to try to stay a little bit basic here. There's even, shoot, I did it again. Okay, all right, saved it. Oh, it saved it for a second. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to get back to that screen. Yeah, I clicked off of it. This is one thing did it save it? No. Okay. All right, let me focus here. I do this every time. I click off of it for some reason, and it closes the whole thing. I forget that I'm just down there in the show more info thing. So give me a second here. Let me get caught back up. I did this last time too. What did I have? The pool in here, I think. The pool is on the clipboard, I think. Yep. All right, and then my address. Let's go back over here. Throw the address back in here. We got the reboot mode in there, and that's pretty much it. I think we're good now. Let me do a little bit of a zoom up on this. I'll probably click off of it again, maybe accidentally. All right, so there's what it looks like. I think that looks pretty good. Should work. So then we're going to click add group. All right, so now we have the group down here. Now we're going to go to rig list. And we're going to click on the check mark next to the rig. We're going to go actions, group config, choose the group that we want, which is the one we just created. And then we'll do a solid reboot here. And then save. Now this has this does have an OC profile assigned to it already. So I'm going to go in here and actually, whoops, go back over here, go in here, and I want to unlink that. Because we need to create our own, because that was for Kryptonite algos. All right, while that's rebooting, what's up, Nemesis? Check out y'all's chat over here. PK, you mean like solo mining? They have solo mining pool over here on, I think they have 2Miners solo pool. Yep. So if you wanted to solo mine, you would come over here. And these are the URLs. Basically, that's the only thing you would change. Everything else would be the same. It's just the URL that you're pointed to. That's it. Oh, wait. Hang on. I'm not showing you. Yeah, right here. So you go to miningpoolstats.stream. And if you see down here, it says solo next to 2Miners. So you would click on that, and it would bring you up to right here. How to start mining Ethereum solo. And then, so basically the only change is the URL. Mine XMR on the CPU in SimpleMining, like alongside. I know there's a way of doing that. I don't know off the top of my head. I think I did a video on that maybe on Hive OS, but I don't think I've ever done it on SimpleMining. But I do believe there's a way of doing it. Nemesis, you've got a video on it? Okay, I'll check it out, man. I will check it out. See if we can tell what's going on here. All right, so there is no overclock settings right now, clearly. I did tell it to restart twice because once was for assigning the group and then the other time was for the OC. So let's go ahead and fix the OC real quick. So we're going to go to group OC. We're going to add a new group OC. It is for AMD RX cards, so we'll leave that like that. We'll do ETH YouTube. For core, let's go. Now remember, this is just a RX 570 and an RX 580. So we'll just go something like, let's go 1100 on the core. 2000 on the memory. I know this is pretty conservative here, but power stage probably of like 2. Drop this down a little bit. I'll leave aggressive undervolt on just for the heck of it. Just for some basic stuff here. Okay, so let's see here. So now we got that. Let's come over here and assign that group OC to the rig. It looks like it's hung. To me, it looks like it's hung. So let's go ahead and I'm going to power cycle it. Since we did a lot, we assigned it an OC, we assigned it a group, and we were also messing with some other stuff. So we'll see. Actually, no, it looks like it's coming up. This right here popped up first. All right, so cool. All right, so it looks like it's coming. It was probably, you know how I get really like super impatient whenever I'm streaming because I don't want to like waste anyone's time. So I'm like, why isn't this thing working? But yeah. So it looks like it's coming up and everything's fine. Doing some updates and stuff again. This was a brand new image. I just did it right before the stream, just to make sure that my machine wasn't going to crash whenever I did the image burn. So it's looking good. So that's what it was doing, was download. It was probably just downloading the latest image, or not image, but the latest updates to the image. Hey, what's up, Red? What is going on? That's too much information there, Red. Hey, Red, look at the screen real quick. I'll give you something to think about while you're in the shower. There you go. Alright, so I would imagine that this rig is probably rebooting again, if I was to guess. This is one of the little drawbacks of doing this stuff live is, you can't edit out these little sections where it is just wasted time here. Waiting on a rig to boot up or reboot or whatever. says completed down there, and then kind of doesn't have nothing else. It seems like it's still talking, so that's okay. They're still saying it's online with the interface here with the console. Yeah, I said I was going to go look at this. I think there's a way. Like if you were to do. So like I guess you could, it's saying that maybe you could mine to this address, because I guess that's what that address is for. The variable. I really should know this, but I don't. But I think that's what it is, so. So if you did put in your address in here, which I don't think mine's in there. I mean, well, it has its own address. So what I'm saying is the variable that's in that string for the miner config, I'm assuming it's just using this address. And what's going to happen is whenever you mine, it's just going to mine to this address. And then you can either use it to pay for your mining here, or you could withdraw it, I guess. I guess that's the way it works. I don't see a how to get it out though. I wonder how you would. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Maybe it's under account or something where you can actually pull it out, or it might actually be under account where you put the address you want to mine to that is used for that particular config there, or the parameter. And what I'm talking about is right here. See, by default, it's got this variable here. So I wonder what this where it's pulling that from. I know where it's pulling rig name from. That's just right here, you know, in the front. You know, right there under name. So, interesting. All right, so it says 55.90 mega hash. So we are up and running. Looks like everything's good. Submitting shares and, well, getting new jobs anyway. Let's see if we get any shares submitted. It says 2 there, I think. So I think we're good. I didn't see it show up there, but. Oh, is that the way it works, Nim? Is you have to actually contact them? That's not cool. but what is that? Is that the same as that variable? Like if you use that variable, that's what it's going to mine to, and then you got to contact them to get it out of there? That sucks. I don't like that. They need to have a withdraw button on there, I think. Alright guys, that is 35 minutes. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to have to get out of here. That was short enough for me. It needs to be a lot shorter, but that's not too bad. Alright guys, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Crypto Fireball Friday. I don't know if I'm going to be drinking because I need to cut back. I'm getting I got my full-on quarantine bod going, and the alcohol's not helping. So yeah, I need to. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a little bit because I haven't had any all week, so that's good. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I will see you tomorrow, Crypto Fireball Friday, nonetheless. But I just might not be drinking. We'll see. All right, everybody, stay. Oh, wait. I forgot. Is he live now? Yeah. Okay, so check out Bitsby Trippin over here doing, I think he's using 5700, the 5700 XTs, I believe, and doing some testing and stuff with that. So yeah, get over there and check that out. That's going to be super cool. I'll post that in the chat over here. So yeah, head over there. It's on Twitch. And I'll see you guys over there. So yeah, all right. I'm glad I remembered that. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody. Check out Bitsby Trippin'.